Hey everybody. So I've been toying with the idea of having another podcast, because Lord knows I need another podcast, another podcast. But I wanted to find a way to combining my Facebook cooking page, cooking group, I should say, and the recipes and things that I share in there in my process, along with my journey to possibly eat healthier, because I'm not sleeping well, and I've got a trip coming up next year that I need to slim down for, just so that I can get a decent seat in the airplane. So I thought, let's do a podcast of the journey, and kind of like an open diary to the world of my struggles, my gains, not like weight, but like happy, gains, whatever. What else? Just anything that, in general, I come across in the journey of eating better. But yeah, so that's my thought for this podcast. Well, I'll get yelled at. Video podcast. Vidcast. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. Hopefully by the time you see this, I'll have a name for it. But I thought I would just share my thoughts and the recipes, and if I do any exercise, maybe we'll throw that in there too. I don't know where I'll videotape from. It could be anywhere. It could be my car. It could be at home. It could be from work if there's a quick moment, or Lord only knows what you may see. So let's have fun with this. So you can see my eyes. And we'll see. So tonight's dinner is supposed to be Mongolian beef. I'll try and record making the dinner. It's a Slimgenics, something my wife found online that's a Slimgenics approved, not officially approved, but like it follows their meal stuff. We thought about going back to Slimgenics. It worked for us. I had lost some weight. So I guess the issue I have with Slimgenics is, while it worked and I didn't have to exercise, and I love that part because I'm not a very active person, just trying to fit that in my day sometimes I just can't even fathom, or I'm just tired from work or mentally. People don't understand, as a creative individual, when you're creating, yeah, you're sitting your ass at a desk sometimes for hours on end. And they're like, well, you didn't do anything all day. Why are you tired? Well, because my brain is tired. I'm creatively, mentally just exhausted. I can't function anymore. I've used all my brain power to get this project or these projects out. So, the thought of, okay, now I've got to go work out, or I've got to go do this. I mean, some people can do that because they don't have to think, but that's not me. But anyways, my problem that I had with Slimgenics was that while you are limited to, you need to have 3 proteins, 4 vegetables, 3 fruits, 3 starches, 1 fat, and you have a list of what's approved for a starch or for a meat or for whatever. Trying to find an actual meal that you can use all those things in is really difficult. You start to end up eating the same thing over and over again, just because without looking, oh, this is 1 starch, 1 meat, 1 protein, whatever. So I'm not, and I don't like cutting out things. I like pizza. I like pasta. I like stuff like that. I like chips occasionally. I like, not all the time, but I like those kind of things. I love food. So I'm now looking into possibly doing Mark Bittman's Vegan Before 6. I said 6, S-I-X. And the way that works is you go back to kind of I don't know if this would be considered paleo. Well, probably not really paleo, but you go back to being more of a vegetarian. What before hunter-gatherers, what they ate before, we had meat and things like that. So you would eat more fruit, more vegetables, nuts, stuff like that. No animal product and no processed foods, which includes bread, because bread is a processed food, because flour is processed, I think is how that works. But then at 6 o'clock, or whenever your mealtime is, like ours is usually 5 o'clock, about-ish, so like 5 o'clock, is when then I'm released from those restrictions. I can have meat. I can have chicken. I can have pizza. I can have pasta. I can have a little bit of chips. As long as I'm still watching the, portions, I'm not going overboard and having, you know, 5 helpings of beef stroganoff. Oh my God, I love beef stroganoff. So just being mindful, but that should, help regulate what I'm eating, and balance out. And I'll supposedly the theory is you become more mindful of what you're eating. Um, so we're gonna give it a shot. I haven't technically started it yet because I'm still reading the the book. I just started reading the book a couple days ago, and I've been busy at work. So we're gonna try reading it and see how well it goes, because I don't like to limit myself. Like, I like making my great aunt's recipe of beef stroganoff. I like, having the occasional bread. Um, I like having, banana bread, or I like having a little bit of ice cream, or, a piece of pie, or, and I don't go overboard on these things. Sometimes I do because I don't have them all the time, but so we'll see how that goes. And then I'm not, tracking how many starches I've had. That's the other thing that I can't do, is trying to track all that crap. It becomes a chore, and then I end up not wanting to do it. So just being mindful that, okay, this is my lunch while I'm at work. I'll snack on berries and fruit and vegetables and nuts. And then when I get home, we can have, normal dinner, normal whatever. So we'll see how it goes. It sounds promising. I've read some articles of people who've taken it and they seem promising. One person was already kind of a vegan, so it wasn't much of a change for her, but she did find that she was um, just doing those few adjustments of some other stuff that she wasn't doing, helped her at least maintain her weight. And it reassured her of that, she was trusting her gut, right, in that, I'm just going to eat this. Okay, I'm not going to eat that much of that. So hopefully this will help retrain my body into knowing when I'm full, knowing when I'm hungry, and, just eating the right things and making good choices. So we'll cross our fingers on that. So maybe this podcast you'll see through that journey. But I've droned on for a good while and cars have peeled out. So I think we'll end it here, and then I'll put at the end this podcast, video cast, whatever I want to call it. We'll cook the Mongolian, and then I'll eat it. And maybe I'll come back and tell you what I thought about it. We've never made Mongolian beef, and it doesn't have that many vegetables in it. It's literally Mongolian beef, green peppers, and something else. So we tried another recipe earlier this week that was tomato zucchini pasta thing, and it was tasteless. It was literally chopping up Roma tomatoes with onion and garlic and putting in some Italian seasoning, I think, in there, and then cooking up zucchini noodles, like, you spiralize them into noodles, and then with the pasta pureed, pasta sauce, the tomatoes, whatever, if you pureed all that, putting them over the noodles and cooking them in that with the noodles, and it was just kind of wet and kind of bland. So we didn't care for that one as much. It was okay, but it wasn't anything spectacular. So, but anyways, I'll see you on the flip side.
Hey everyone, so here we are. We're going to be starting the Mongolian beef recipe. I've had to scale it to serve more than just one person. And so we're kind of flying by the seat of my pants with this one. But it's basically 4 teaspoons of olive oil, 16 ounces of beef. This is for a serving of 4. A cup of bean sprouts, 2 cups of medium bell peppers, thinly sliced. Oh, and the beef should be thinly sliced. And 4 tablespoons of Catalina dressing, fat-free, and a dash of garlic powder, which I got to get. I've got everything else pretty much ready and prepped. I've got the green beans here. We got my mom is slicing up the meat for me because I don't touch meat. I've never stir-fried, so I don't know what I'm doing, but we're going to figure it out. And I couldn't find fresh bean sprouts, surprisingly, online when I did my ordering, so I had to get a can. Doesn't that look appetizing? But if I remember my dad, when he would try to keep the meat in the center when you could pop it in. Yeah. When he would cook stir fry, right, Mom? He would the meat was in the down at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then the vegetables were like on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do here. Spread out them bean sprouts. Yeah, they're looking, cut those ones in half. Yeah.
Okay.
Just so that they're a little more bite-sized.
Okay.
And a dash of garlic powder. Which right here. So, we'll just... It says a dash, but I'm doing more meat than it says.
All this meat's going in the
Yeah, it's thought it's going to have to.
way. Yeah. It's okay, we'll just have one meat.
Now, it just says, heat the olive oil over high heat in a wok saute pan. Stir fry all the ingredients until cooked. I'm assuming that means putting in the Catalina sauce in now. Dressing, but...
So, yeah, all the ingredients.
Yeah, so
I would assume.
I would assume too.
It smells good out here.
We're trying.
It looks pretty too in the pan.
Yeah, I probably should have waited until you had it all cut to do this. Because I've got like half that are pretty much cooked now. Half that aren't.
Yeah.
So pro tip, cut all your beef first. Don't try to cut corners like I was. I think I'm going to have to add more Catalina dressing.
Okay, that's it with me.
Okay.
Which one has up? Stick that in there.
We're totally eyeballing this.
Looks good.
There. Try and get the stuff that has not cooked yet up to the bottom where all the heat is. I need to find a better setup so you guys can actually see what's happening a little better. So there is the beef. I've kept the beef in the center and I've got all the vegetables around the outside. So we're just waiting for those thicker pieces in there to get cooked. And it looks like the Catalina dressing has mixed with the natural juices of the beef. And now it's become more of a brown color. So I've never had this. I've never even had traditional Mongolian beef. So I don't know what the flavor is supposed to taste like. So this will be new for me. Okay, so we finished eating dinner, the Mongolian beef. And before I give you my opinion, we're going to go to my wife and get her opinion. How was it?
It was good.
How was the texture?
Beefy?
It wasn't too watery or anything?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it was good.
Did you use the slotted spoon?
Yes.
Oh, that's probably why. Because I thought it was too watery.
Oh.
When I ate it, I had a little bit extra juice because it was in that pan after it started bubbling. Like, it was thick when I was cooking it. You could see it in the video. It was, when I put the Catalina and stuff, it was a thicker sauce. But then as it kept heating and getting more bubbly, it thinned out. So it was very watery. But
No, it wasn't watery when I had it.
it was. What do you think the flavor was like? Sweet? Kind of sweet?
Yeah, a little bit. It wasn't spicy at all.
No. No.
What was the other stuff that was in it besides the peppers?
It had the beef, the peppers,
Sprouts
the
or something?
bean sprouts, the Catalina
weird.
dressing, and then they came from a can.
Well, yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah.
The bean sprouts was just weird. It was just stringy things. All
Yeah, I could have done without the bean sprouts and instead done something like those little mini corn cob things would have been good.
Meh.
Or I don't know, some other
Pea pods or
vegetable.
something.
Pea pods. We had pea pods in the freezer. I could have used those.
Mm-hmm. Other good stir-fried veggies.
Yeah, some other veggies. So, what did you think of dinner?
I thought it was really nice. The beef was nice and tender, and the peppers were cooked really good, so they were kind of soft. But it had a really good taste.
Really good flavor and everything?
Really good flavor. I really liked it.
Okay. So, how did you like it?
I can't eat beef.
You had 2 teeny tiny little pieces.
Yeah, they were good. They were sweet. They weren't like, I don't know, I expected them to taste like soy sauce because you said Mongolian beef.
Right.
But they didn't.
No.
And I'm not dying, so I mean, that's a plus.
So your stomach's okay?
Yeah, because I ate 2 pieces and then took my pills.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm not stupid.
So, there you have it. Comments from the Peanut Gallery. Until next time.